So what happened to Left 4 Dead? A franchise and a game that was absolutely something that was a great pastime game, right? A lot of fun to play with your friends, great co-op, and just really an exciting game and something that we've been wanting to see another, a sequel to, even though it's, of course, we had 2 games that were made. The third one we've been waiting for forever for, because we kind of wanted to, wrap up the trilogy if that was what they were thinking, or maybe, just continue it. Well, obviously, lots of things have been happening over at Valve, the ones who created Left 4 Dead, that being Steam, as well as focusing on CSGO and Dota 2. Lots of things going on over there, as well as the Half-Life VR game that got announced, Half-Life Alyx. And so they've had a lot of things going on, and Left 4 Dead has been something that's been kind of like put to the wayside. Well, with some new information, maybe we could find out really what happened to Left 4 Dead, but also, will we see a Left 4 Dead 3 in the future? So let's talk about it. In an article that was written by PC Gamer, Meg Coep wrote Left 4 Dead 3 Rumor and Leak Roundup, everything we know. We compiled years of Left 4 Dead 3 rumors and leaks. Here's what we learned. It's been almost 10 years since Left 4 Dead 2 was first released on Steam. Does that make you feel old? Because I'm feeling pretty ancient right now. There's been no announcement of Left 4 Dead 3 for nearly a decade now, which is surprising because Left 4 Dead 2 ended on a huge cliffhanger because it was enormously popular and successful, and because rumors of a sequel have been popping up for years. As far as we know, there's still no Left 4 Dead 3. Valve even staunchly denied it in January 2020, which of course they did do that, and I don't know why that they would even... I wish that they would have just said that it was something that was still on their mind, but something that they weren't working on currently. But there have been many rumors to pour over. The lack of an official announcement from Valve hasn't stopped people from creating plenty of hoaxes and fan-made leaks in the last few years. If this doesn't prove just how starved zombie enthusiasts are for even the slightest hint of Left 4 Dead 3, then I don't know what does. We've gone back through the last decade of Left 4 Dead 3 rumors to determine what was fake and what was plausible and what those leaks might be able to tell us. Here's everything we learned about Left 4 Dead 3 so far. So, as of 2020, Valve is absolutely not making Left 4 Dead 3. Early in 2020, HTC China president Alvin Graylin shared a few slides from his talk on the future of VR, including one that said Valve Half-Life Alyx Left 4 Dead 3 will drive consumers and a AAA studio interest. Naturally, folks ran with the idea that this was some insider confirmation of Left 4 Dead 3, despite the acronym being slightly off. Valve quickly stepped in and provided a statement to IGN saying that we did briefly explore some Left 4 Dead next opportunities a few years ago, but we are absolutely not working on anything Left 4 Dead related now and haven't for years. It's clear some people are having fun creating misinformation to spin up the community and other outlets. Unfortunately, for now, a new Left 4 Dead game is not something we're working on. Graylin then clarified on Twitter that unfortunately his LFD4 example was just personal speculation, given that he's a fan of the series himself. Drat. Is there proof Left 4 Dead 3 is in development, however? Honestly, there's little to go on. The series lead writer, Chet Folizek, hinted at the possibility of a third installment in an interview with Eurogamer back in 2012, but we've had nothing but radio silence from official channels since. Folizek left Valve in 2017. We were recently teased with an impressive game trailer that seemed almost official, but unfortunately wasn't, as confirmed to us by Valve itself. In 2016, it seemed like Valve had slipped up by possibly, including possible Left 4 Dead 3 leaks in an HTC Vive benchmark tool built using their Source engine. Valve News Network's Tyler McVicker unearthed several references and assets in its source files, including a new special infected enemy called the Nocturnal, a day-night cycle, and an older male character. Whether he was supposed to be an NPC or a survivor is unknown. a direct connection between the files and the game's development was never found. So, here's the thing, guys. Left 4 Dead, I think, it's a great series, right? It's a lot of fun to play. It's a ton of fun. I'm gonna give you guys something, at least in the meantime to play. If you're really wanting to play some zombie games, I would highly recommend playing World War Z. That game is absolutely awesome. I think it's a great game. I think it's basically in my opinion, it is a third-person Left 4 Dead game, basically, is my personal take on it. I think that it's basically Left 4 Dead, but in third person, and I think it's a fantastic game. I think World War Z, they did a really good job with that, and I think that's a game that really, even though, like, I'm not as into, I really enjoyed Left 4 Dead, and I would love to see them continue it, obviously. I think that something like a World War Z can definitely parch my thirst, so to speak, until something actually comes out, because it does look like Left 4 Dead 3 is something that they're definitely not working on right now. Maybe they're lying about it. It's hard to say. I would have to say, guys, that they probably aren't really working on much because they've got all hands on deck with Half-Life Alyx. They're probably also consistently, trying to update CSGO as well as Dota 2. Those are their big games, at least at this point, and I think it's nice that at least we're going to get another Half-Life game, even though it's VR, which is kind of annoying that it's going to be only on VR. I still think that that's pretty cool that's coming back. So maybe after the Half-Life, game comes out, maybe sometime after that is when we'll get a Left 4 Dead 3. It just looks like at this point, Left 4 Dead was just left in a state of limbo, and for whatever reason, they just maybe felt that there were other projects that needed to come first because it was more profitable for the company, and that would be my best assumption there. Who might be developing Left 4 Dead 3? It was heavily predicted that Turtle Rock Studios, the developer behind the original Left 4 Dead, or Valve, which developed Left 4 Dead 2 itself, would be taking on the development of Left 4 Dead 3. But it seems safe to say now that Turtle Rock definitely isn't involved. In April of 2019, Turtle Rock announced zombie first-person shooter Back 4 Blood, and it appears to be a spiritual successor to the Left 4 Dead series. Warner Brothers Interactive is publishing it. If Left 4 Dead 3 is in development, it seems likely it's within Valve, but that's just a guess based on some of the rumors below, which have never amounted to anything. It's even possible Left 4 Dead 3 was in development at some point, but isn't anymore. And so that's the other thing, guys, is what I'm getting at here is you got this game coming out called Back 4 Blood by Turtle Rock Studios, which I think is definitely going to be a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, which I think is great that they're doing it, because Valve just seems to not really care, right? In my opinion, they don't seem to care that much about the IP. So look, Turtle Rock cares about that kind of ordeal, and so I think Back 4 Blood will be your other option when that releases. I'm not sure when that's going to be coming out, but I think Back 4 Blood is going to be the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. And I would also say that World War Z is your other great option. I mean, obviously Dead Island, I'm not as big of a Dead Island fan, but Dead Island's definitely an option. There's options, guys. If you're a zombie lover and you love zombie games and such, definitely Back 4 Blood's going to be probably the place to go. I know World War Z is, and even Dead Island, you might enjoy that one as well. So there's some options there, but it really is unfortunate, guys, that Left 4 Dead at this point has not been announced yet, and it's even being denied that it's even being worked on, because I'm one of those people who believes that it was in principal photography, or it was at least at a very early state that they were working on Left 4 Dead 3, but maybe they scratched it just because, like I said, they want to be more profitable. Even though Left 4 Dead was successful, it just might not be, as successful as a Half-Life game. Other than that, though, guys, Half-Life Alyx probably means Left 4 Dead 3 is in the back of the pipeline, which we already kind of talked about, but the recent Half-Life Alyx announcement, it seems unlikely that Left 4 Dead 3 would be following shortly after. Valve has said that Half-Life Alyx is the largest game we've had yet. It sounds like there probably aren't any hands-free to work on zombies. If there is a Left 4 Dead 3 still in the works somewhere in Valve's basement, it will be quite a while before we hear about it. So that's, I mean, like I said, guys, once again, Half-Life Alyx, that's got to be, you know, basically what they're all working on. They think that's going to be more profitable, which it very well might be. But I also think that, I just think that Valve's kind of doing these things a little bit oddly, in my opinion, because why is it only going to be on VR? Not everyone wants to buy a VR headset. And I don't know how many people are going to be going out there buying a VR headset just to play Half-Life Alyx. Maybe I'm wrong about it. Maybe it's something that you just are going to have to get. But I just don't know if we're there yet with VR, in my opinion. But here's another interesting thing talking about VR. Left 4 Dead 3 could be VR too. A known Valve reporter leaker has tweeted a collection of claims and predictions, including Left 4 Dead in VR. It would make sense for Valve to continue rolling with whatever tech it's been developing for Half-Life Alyx, so Left 4 Dead in VR isn't so wild a thought. So, look, I mean, would a VR game for Left 4 Dead be something that could happen? Absolutely. I would much rather not have it be VR, like maybe have it as a VR, but also as, you know, where we can play it on console or on PC. I think that's what everyone wants. I feel like VR somewhat is kind of like the mobile phone. Like if you were to kind of compare it to like Diablo. When Diablo Immortal got announced on the phone, everyone was like, okay, that's fine, but we want the next Diablo in the main franchise, right? You don't just want the mobile game, you want that as well. I feel the same way with VR. Like, sure, having it on VR, that's going to help build the lore, build the story, but we don't just want it on VR. We want it on other stuff too. So I hope that if it is going to be on VR, that's great, but on other stuff would be great as well, like consoles and PC. So were any of the leaks legitimate? It's very hard to believe that some of the leaks aren't real, especially since a handful have unintentionally come from Valve itself. Nothing has ever been officially confirmed, though, leaving the door for speculation wide open. And because some of the leaks are now years old, it's again possible that Left 4 Dead 3 was in development at some point, but has since been canceled. One leak had most of the internet fooled into false legitimacy in 2018, a bogus Facebook page. Cyber sleuths hacked the official Left 4 Dead website and changed the Facebook link to a fake page supposedly belonging to developer Ted Carson, with the header sporting a zombie hand holding up 3 fingers. Left 4 Dead 3 confirmed, right? You can't blame people for falling for it if the link was on the official site. The excitement didn't last long as Valve quickly shut the rumor down by changing the link to the real Facebook page. So Carson's name had already popped up in the rumor mill a few years before, after a Pastebin dump allegedly revealed that he was working on the sequel. His name was also included in a leaked photo claiming to be of the changelog history on a developer's PC screen at Valve's headquarters, showing that he made edits to Left 4 Dead 3 content. Neither were ever confirmed to be true. So overall, guys, most of these leaks, obviously, I don't think they were legitimate, but I do think that there's something about it. Like, obviously, some of the stuff coming from Valve that we've seen in the past, it's like, yeah, they must be working on this stuff. If you watch, the Valve News Network, lots of stuff on there has really shown us that Left 4 Dead 3 was something that was definitely being talked about, was definitely most likely in the early stages, but I think it did get canceled. But like I said, guys, what this really comes back to is it comes back to what happened to Left 4 Dead, and I really think what happened to it was it didn't make as much money as like Half-Life, Dota 2, CSGO, and obviously Steam as a whole for Valve. And Valve, not saying that they're lazy, but what I will say is that they just don't seem to care as much about that IP, and maybe they're just working on other stuff in-house. It's hard to say, guys, but what would you guys think about? Would you guys like to see a Left 4 Dead 3? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.